Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. We streaming, you know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, we in the building. We're going to start this off because we're going to do the little morning show. And it's Unique Mecca Audio morning show. This the rundown, right? So y'all tap in. You know, let's see what it is. All right, let me give an intro real quick or something, you know. Let me give an intro.
Hey, what's going on, man? Murder Mook, Harlem, you know what it is, man. I just want to express how much gratitude I got for Unique, you know what I mean? I was telling him a story, telling him how I felt about, you know, if anything was to go wrong with my career, rap-wise, you know, if, you know, shit be slow and I got so many opportunities to be able to do the wrong shit. When I watch Unique Mecca Audio, I feel it, and I like to my soul, and that's keeping me farthest away from doing anything criminal. Anything criminal. He made me think straight, honestly. Made me think straight, because I've been watching him for about a year, like a year now, maybe, and it just took my mind way off of that, From a year ago, it got rough. For a year ago,
Yeah.
And from watching this man, I just felt like you saved me. You saved me. And I just want to show my gratitude, and I want to say thank you, man. Unique Mecca Audio, anything you need, brother, from me.
All right.
Anything you need, man.
All right.
Harlem.
You're muted. Your mic is muted.
Like I said, we here. Joint was muted, bear with me. All new, but we looking good, right? Yeah, we here at Unique Mecca Audio. We trying to bring the people to awareness that it's not worth it to enter into a life of crime on the street. If y'all don't understand that, don't want that, then y'all don't need to be here. We got all types of things going on out there, so I decided to, you know, start a little morning show. So put in the comments, you know, what you think of the morning show. But, you know, I just want to get my breaking news again. Breaking news. All right. All right, so we back. You know, I just wanted to play and have a little bit of fun, right? But we here because, first of all, let me say good morning, right? You already know what it is. Over here at Unique Mecca Audio, we ain't here to gossip. We ain't here to, you know, we here to decode the game. That's all we gonna do. We gonna decode the game over here. The street got stories, but the prison got receipts. Today, we talking rap. We talking courtrooms, we talking loyalty, we talking consequences, because the youth need to know this, right? Because they think everything is sweet because they see it on social media and it's glitz and glamour, right? The camera make it look sweet. The indictment make it look real. These young men behind me just got indicted, just got sentenced, was facing a death penalty, went through the toughest times of their lives. And you heard the brother Sean Garthright go up there and say he had a privileged life, and now he have to spend the rest of his life in prison. So you think about that and you tell me if you think it's worth it. Because like I said, the indictment make it real. And the prison sentence, that make it forever, right? A whole lot of things going on out there And I'm just trying to let everybody get a chance to come in. But a whole lot of things going on out there. Now I'm just gonna run my show. They'll watch it back and see what it is, right? They'll watch it back, see what it is. We don't need to be waiting on nobody. You know what I mean? So let's begin talking about, you know, Kodak Black got arrested again. Talent don't cancel the consequences of your actions. Because they become stars don't mean that they can get away with crimes. Yeah, they can pay for better lawyers. But can they get away from crime? You're seeing the best of them sit in jail. You see one of the best of them right now still sitting in jail. That's Diddy. You know, the first topic on the board is Kodak Black. Reports say that Kodak Black was arrested twice in 8 days in Florida, right? One arrest involved a drug trafficking charge. Another involved resisting without violence and allegedly trying to flee the police. Now listen, Kodak is talented. We know he's talented, right? Kodak got fans, Kodak got money, but none of that stops the system. The police don't care about your streams. The judge don't care about your fan base. The jail don't even care about your hit records. You know, this is what I tell the youth every day. You can be famous and still be trapped. You can be rich and still be watched. You can be successful and still one mistake from a cage. The jewel is this: freedom is more valuable than clout. Because once they put that number on your back, your name don't matter no more. So what do you think about Kodak Black getting arrested again after getting all these chances, but still getting in trouble every time you turn around? Do you feel sorry for someone like that? Do you think they got mental issues? I mean, we see the youth in our neighborhood, right? I remember growing up, right? When I'm growing up, I'm seeing the kids in the neighborhood. They be a little wild kid all the time. This the one that's always chasing the cats or chasing the dogs, or, he down the alley, hitting the garbage cans, trying to get rats to run out so that he could kill one of them. He just say, man, little Joey just bucking. But he's just wilding. You know what I mean? Here's a kid in the alley trying to get a rat to come out so he can kill it. And he's sitting there with a big rock trying to slam it on the rock. And we justified it as, he just wilding. That's little Bobby. But those was the signs of mental trauma. That the issues was there, but we downplayed it because we didn't know nothing about psychiatry. Like now, every time I come out of jail after 26 years, and all I'm hearing them talking about, is, therapists. People gonna get their head checked out. Back in the day, we didn't even, that word wasn't even used in our neighborhoods back then, therapists. Ain't nobody trying to have nobody play up in their head because ain't nobody think they crazy. We never think we crazy, right or wrong. Everyone else is crazy, but we are sane as they come. Kodak Black sitting in the middle of the street eating fried chicken with cars zooming by, that's not crazy. He just wilding. And that's how we look at it and keep going on with our life and keep buying his music and keep fueling this behavior instead of trying to help this behavior. And that's what the problem be with that. But, I can see the comments over there, everything good. Yo, can I get some likes in here? I need to get some likes up in here to see what's going on. We need to get some likes up in here, man. Let's get the likes up so that they're recommended, because when you're talking that real talk, they don't like to, push the content. So it is what it is. The phone number's on the screen if you want to call in and tap in and say something. But, that's what I got to say about old Kodak Black. Let me see what the comments. I gotta make them a little bigger. You know, old man, a little old, you know. All right. So that's what it is. All right, looking good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Said I'm looking good. That's about all I see, and I'm chilling. It's just early morning, just chilling, man. Yo, but what about the Young Dolph case, right? The streets never stop collecting. Remember that. The streets never stop collecting. That's why I see the Young Dolph case. Rest in peace to Young Dolph. Next topic is Young Dolph. One of the men tied to the Dolph murder pled guilty. He reportedly got 20 years. He had already testified in the case. Now look at how the streets work. Everybody is tough in the beginning. Everybody's loyal in music videos. Everybody's solid in comments. But when that courtroom opens, everybody starts looking for a way out. Dolph lost his life. Rest in peace to Dolph. Families got destroyed. Men got life. Others got decade. And for that, ego, beef, money, pride, the streets sell everybody a dream, but the ending is usually a funeral, a plea deal, or a life sentence. The jewel is this: beef does not retire. Beef follows until somebody pays the bill. Somebody must pay the bill for beef. You know, you going to, like last night, right? I'm outside, let's ride. Let's ride. Where's my ride at? Where is my ride, man? All right, there she go. Last night I'm outside, right? So I pull up in the joint and I go to the bar and I get my drink, and the next man come and get his drink, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's good to be free with no beef. To be able to move around, you don't want to have to be looking all behind your neck because you don't know what's happening. Because beef follows you until somebody pays the bill. So you don't want to be the bill that's always looking over your shoulder because you think the collecting man is coming. So what about the YNW Melly, was denied bond, sitting years before trial? I just want to touch on a couple of these young topics so you can see how our brothers is caught up in the system. The YNW Melly, was denied bond, sitting years, and this young man haven't folded yet, and they pressing, right? He's still a major topic. The reports say he was denied bond anyway. Again, his retrial is now set for January 2027. He has already been locked up for years. That right there is a lesson by itself. Some people think prison starts after conviction. No, prison starts the moment they deny you bond. Your career pauses. Your family suffers. Your money drains. Your name gets judged every day. And you still haven't even finished trial yet. The youth needs to understand this. A case can take your life before a sentence does. Years can disappear before the judge even says guilty. That is the part the streets never advertise. But that's what I'm here to tell you about. Right? That's the ugly side of it. If y'all don't understand that, I don't know what to tell you, but I am going to tell you what the jewel is with that, right? The courtroom clock moves slow, but your life keeps getting older. I just turned 62 years old. Just the other day, I was 22 years old. It felt like yesterday. 40 years went by that quick. Don't think yours ain't gonna go that quick. After it passes, you look back, then you have to judge what you did during the time when you look back. because you was busy bull crapping back here. So tighten up here, so when you look back, you can say, yeah, here is where I moved forward and became someone. Does that make sense to anybody? You know, cause like, look at Tory Lanez, right? He's in prison, you know, he got a stabbing lawsuit. The prison don't care who you are. Big Tory Lanez got a, prison stabbing lawsuit. They don't care about who Tory Lanez is. Tory Lanez is suing California officials. Reports say he filed a $100 million lawsuit after being stabbed in prison for whatever action that caused that reaction for him to get stabbed. Now he wants to get paid, and he's entitled to get paid because it was their job to protect him. That's why they removed him from society, saying that we can protect him and protect society by keeping him away from society. Tory claims the staff failed to protect him. He claims he was housed around danger in prison. Now, this is bigger than Tory. This is prison reality. In the street, celebrity matters. In prison, celebrity can make you a target. Your fame can become pressure. Your money can become attention. Your name can become danger. A lot of young dudes think prison is just time. No, prison is politics. Prison is survival. Prison is humiliation. Prison is waking up every day around men with nothing to lose. With nothing to lose. I'm talking about a man that's just looking for somebody to jump on and who to carry on with. You minding your business, and here goes a man, all of a sudden, his girl didn't answer from last night. Then he called her again this morning and she still didn't answer. Now he can't wait to get his hands around her neck, is the way he's feeling. And he's standing there and he's just furious and he's just thinking about bloodshed and craziness he want to do to this person. And then somebody said, yo, you gonna use the phone? And he just turned around and spaz out on him, and he takes all that anger out on him and rips his face apart because he done snatched his joint out his waistband, and before you know it, it was that's how easy it is and how fast it is. Just from asking, y'all, you gonna use the phone? To him, he heard, nigga, get out the way. And he reacted in that manner. But it is what it is, and that's why I want you to understand that the jewel in this, right? You may be famous outside, but inside, you're just another body in khakis. That's why I wore this today, because that's what they gave us to wear, the khakis. Now, how about Drake's Iceman album, John, right? I just feel like playing with a lot of little celebrity stuff today. Image repair after public defeat. Drake is back in the headlines. Reports say his album, Iceman, dropped in May. The conversation is bigger than music. This is about image repair after the Kendrick battle. Because Kendrick put his work in. Drake had to remind people he's still Drake. That's how entertainment works. One viral loss can damage your aura. One bad public moment can shift the crowd. But here is this street code angle, right? Let me get you. You're on the street code angle. In the streets, once people think you bleeding, everybody wants to test you. When they can smell that blood, they coming at you. In entertainment, once the fans think you lost, everyone jokes you. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Because the jewel in this is reputation is expensive to build. Meaning you gotta have money, so basically you buying reputation. But it's real cheap to lose. Remember that. Protect your name before you have to repair it. All right. Now, the Drake verse Kendrick lawsuit fallout. When Rap Beef enters the court. Drake and Kendrick's situation is still alive, not just in music, not the legal side is part of the conversation. Drake's legal fight with UMG over Not Like Us keeps people debating. That's what everyone wants to talk about. Some scholars even got involved in the legal argument. Yeah, I said scholars. Now, listen to the contradiction. Hip hop loves battle. Hip hop loves disrespect. Hip hop loves saying anything on wax. But once lawyers step in, the culture starts arguing. Is it rap? Is it defamation? Is it business? Or is it just weakness? That is the real morning show debate. Do you understand that? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? And the jewel to that is, when words become money, words become lawsuits. And when ego meets lawyers, the culture gets confused. And, let's ride. We ain't hear nothing about the Diddy case fallout in a minute, right? Power does not mean protection forever. Diddy is still one of the biggest legal stories in entertainment. Even after major trial developments, the public is still debating what power hides. This topic is bigger than one man. It is about fame, money, influence, allegations, control, and what happens when the machine turns on you. Because Diddy was moving with the machine, right? Diddy was moving real good, right? Y'all, let me take you on a ride. I came home and I went to a party that they had downtown at one of them clubs down there on 12th Avenue, and the energy was high when I went in there. But then Diddy came in the joint, and you could literally feel the floor vibrating from people gyrating and moving and, pause, but you know what I mean. I mean, the energy in the room was just like, something you couldn't believe. So, what happens when the machine turns on you? The street lesson is clear, right? Everybody around power ain't loyal. Some people are scared. Some people are paid. Some people are just waiting. And when the case comes, the same circle becomes witnesses. Do you understand that? Your entourage become your witness. Now the jewel in this, right? Power can cover you for a season, but it cannot cover you forever. So you might get away today, but you definitely ain't gonna get away tomorrow. I remember there was a dude, right? There was a SIS dude, that's Special Investigation Service officer, like the FBI and the feds. It was a dude that was tracking me, right? Because we like to ride. It was the dude that was tracking me in the joint, right? I'm even gonna say his name, right? Because everybody that was in the feds know if you was about that in the prison. His name is Feeney. Feeney was a little animal. Feeney rolled up on me one day. I'm sitting in front of the bleachers in Allenwood. They got the prison, got the little circle and the units off to the side, and the education buildings up that way and the child hall up that way. So we came from down here by the buildings and we went up there to the child hall, and they got the bleachers up there because that's where they got the football field right in the middle of the yard, and I'm sitting there, and here comes Feeney come walking up, right? So he said, "Yo, Unique, how you doing?" I said, "Nah, man." He said, "Yeah, I know what you're doing." I said, "Man, I'm doing my job. What are you doing?" And he said, "Nah, I know what you're doing." I said, "Man, come on, we'll get to where you're getting at." He said, "Well, I'm gonna let you know this. You could get away 1,000 times, but all I gotta do is catch you one time to get you into our courtroom and bury you forever. And you live in the law library, but you gambling with your freedom." I said, "Man, I don't know what you're talking about," and I kept peeling. And my mind was still on doing it wrong. And I went back to, doing me, screw what he said, just, I'll pay up when you catch up, copper. That's how I felt. I'll pay up when you catch up. But that's where my mentality was at. So I know where these young mentalities is at. That's why, like when I speak on the psyche of Davion Martin, because that's the one that a lot of y'all is like sleeping on, the same as the one I told you that'll rattle the garbage can trying to get a rat to come out so he can bash it in the head with a rock, and we say he just wilding. That's just little Bobby being little Bobby. That's how we look at it. But the other cultures look at it like, he got psychological trauma. We need to get him to a therapist to get him checked out and get him on the proper medication to keep him balanced, and so on and so on and so on. And that's how that works, right? But Davion had that deep love and loyalty, a strong protective spirit within him. And he felt like he was protecting the women that was in his family and around him. And he took up the woman's pain and anguish and heartache. He took all that and made it his. And he turned their pain into his pain, but he was physically in shape to go out and carry out the carnage that was carried out. And if you're from our culture for real, you already know back then, our grandparents and great-grandparents, all they always told us was, and that's if you want to keep it real or not, put in the comments. That's what they always taught us. An eye for an eye. You go out there, you get in a fight while you out there, and you go home, you know what I mean? And grandma here, your brother didn't fight with you. What's she gonna do to him? He come back telling him that you had a fight. Well, he wasn't fighting, but he telling you about the fight. I don't know about you, but the people I know and what happened in my circle is, you got your ass beat, you had to go back out there and go fight with your brother. Because there was an old saying. I remember we lived by railroad tracks, right? And one day I went across the railroad track. Well, my brother went up the street and wound up, getting in a fight. So when he get in a fight, he come back and I tell my mother, Mommy, Khalif went up the block, he got punched in the head. She said, what did you do? I said, nothing, I just came back and told you. She popped me in the head and made me and him go back out there and fight. And we had to fight though. It was another Spanish family up there. So me and Khalif, AKA Peter, whatever you want to call him, son, couple of his aliases. But when we went back and moms told us, yo, what are you doing? You crazy? You know what I mean? You don't let your brother fight and you don't fight. Whatever happened to one happened to both because y'all carrying the same blood and you have the same purpose in life. It's to build this family. And that was the lessons that we got growing up. You know what I mean? Take your ass out there and go fight. So that's why when I come back and I speak about, Davion, when you get older, you start remembering the people that shaped you, that molded you, that having you standing for what you stand for. And those are the ones that you cherish. And it's like, whoever don't like it, mother F them. Because you out there, I don't see crackheads. Let me just freestyle real quick, right? I don't see crackheads, right? Mothers that's cracked out, living in an abandoned building the whole nine. She pulls up at the kid's house, at least twice a week to come get something to eat. And she come up there nasty, dirty. I'm just keeping it 100, not disrespecting, just letting you know, you can see she got on some sandals. How I feel about like flip-flops in public, but she had on like some sand on the side of her feet. They so black and dirty that they like white chalk, and you know, not disrespecting the mother, just telling you straight up, you know, what it is. And everybody else look at her in that manner that I just described. That's why I described it. But now, here comes the child. The child sees the mother, and all he sees is, you know, the emotion, the spirit, the love. He sees everything internal, nothing on the external. And he go up and he sit down with his mother, and nobody can say nothing bad about his mother, and that's what it is. And then his mother steals his money when he go to sleep out his pocket. Steals his work when he hide it in the closet, and she dig it up looking for it because she know he got something of value in there because he lived there, and she's in there. And now he owe money, and people trying to kill him because Mardo smoked up the pack, and he had to go tell the Connect that Mom smoked the pack. And the Connect say, nah, I want my money. But Mom's is the one that took the money, so what do? Of course, the kid goes with the mother. And he loves the mother, and you can't tell him nothing bad about that mother. And he always gonna love her. But then you got people from the outside looking in and saying, oh man, how could he care about it? She done abandoned him, she ain't do nothing for him, that's what it is. Oh, the link in the screen and the number on the screen if you want to call in. Where the phone at? I don't even know if we've been ringing. It's right here. So, you know, the phone is on, numbers in the screen, but like I said, I'm just really freestyling because I really felt the situation with the brother Davion. Because he took on the burden that he felt for those women, and I don't hear nobody speaking about that in the joint. I mean, not to, you know, condone what he did, but just to say that I understand what he did, and he understood what he did. That's why he would laugh in the courtroom when everybody was bugging out, saying, oh, what he doing laughing? Can't believe he's laughing. Remember when everybody was talking about why he laughing? Could he really be laughing? He's laughing because he's like, man, he feel like he fulfilled his destiny. He handled his business. You look at him handling his business as he crashed out. You know what I mean? As you should from where you standing. But from where he at and who he is, he feel like he did the right thing, and whatever come with it, come with it. Whoever don't like it, mother F you. I stood on my business. That's what he's saying. That's why when he saw Golf right in there crying and whimpering in the courtroom, he's like, you wussy. You knew what you signed up for. And that was his mentality. You can see who's the leader of the group. That's why I have that particular picture up there. That's who fueled it right there, and they just went along. Because they're, you know, no disrespect. You know, let's say they're soldiers. We're not even gonna say they followed, they're soldiers. You know what I mean? And like he said, you know, Rock Roller 93, he said, you know, get out of the car like the boys in the hood did. But it's real hard when that pressure on you and you already started trying to paint this image like if you something when you know you really ain't nothing. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's the tricky part, right? But what about the Lil Durk federal situation, right? Lyrics, loyalty, in the courtroom, right? Lil Durk situation still has people locked in. The big debate is lyrics. Can the rap lyrics be used in court? That's what it all comes down to. Can the rap lyrics be used in court? Should they be treated like art or treated like evidence? This is important for every young rapper. You cannot talk reckless online, then act shocked when prosecutors screenshot it and bring it in a courtroom, and now you got a case against you and you cannot rap about it. Everything. Then expect the government to ignore it. I'm not saying lyrics prove a crime. I'm saying the system will use whatever you give them to prove a crime. So watch what you do and what you say, because the more you do and the more you say and you flossing, holding up stacks of money and and then now You doing your thing, you ain't doing nothing illegal, but your man over here, he doing something, and you with him, and you in some pictures with him, and you done seen him a couple of spots you went in, they got pictures with you and him, and then now they pull him in and they say you must be one of them because, if you're affiliated with it, that's what it is. If it's a duck, it's a duck. If it's a quack, it's quack. And they pull you in the case and they charge you with it. And you say, man, I ain't got nothing to do with our work. This is where I get my money from. But you're holding this big stack of money. But they got all these dudes saying that, you was down with them in order for them to get a time cut. And to help the government secure or the state secure the case on you. Now, the jewel is this. Freedom requires discipline. Sometimes the hardest ball is the one you never release. Sometimes the hardest ball is the one you never release. Let's talk about Pooh Shiesty, Gucci Man, and Big 30 loyalty gets tested when freedom is on the table, right? You already covered this lane, but is it still a on-the-show topic, you mean? Pooh Shiesty, Gucci Man, Big 30, contracts, loyalty, pressure, prison, it's the perfect debate topic because people love saying what they would do until their freedom is on the line. Then we know who they are. Everybody is loyal in public, but behind closed doors, paperwork changes relationships, right? I'm gonna give you one, right? It ain't about the paperwork changing relationships, it's about what happened behind closed doors. I'm talking about because I'm over there, right? I'm gonna just give you one pop in my head. I'm in one of the California prisons, right? I get in a California prison where the gangs is outnumbered and they're crazy and it's ridiculous out there. And everybody already heard the rumors, seen it, seeing the people leaving, seeing the people in the hole, seeing the people in Oklahoma telling you ain't trying to go to California because California is a madhouse, it's guaranteed dictator, it's nothing but politics, and you gotta walk a fine line and they're gonna crush you. You know what I mean? This is what it is. So now you hear all that. Now I get there and it's 33 of us. We get off the bus, and when we get off the bus and we go on a joint, they put us all in separate rooms and we're behind the glass and we waiting to see the doctor, the psych, the SIS, the captain. When it come time to see the SIS and captain, before that, everybody, they talking how tough they are. They can't wait to go on the compound. When they go on the compound, they gonna do this. They gonna get their knife. They got their man out there. This one down when they know him because he wrapped up in the hood. And they got all these stories to tell. And then now when the SIS come in there and they start calling out names to bring you out, and the SIS is the ones who decide who goes in and out. So if you got something to tell, to save your life because you don't need to be out there, or they gonna stab you up from whatever you did in another jail, or because whatever you did in the courtroom. So now is your time to save your peace or go out there and get stabbed up because that's the only way they're gonna let you leave out of that gladiator joint. You ain't coming out there faking if you ain't about it on that compound with the crap right out there. So now we're in a joint and, you start seeing dudes trying to get the SIS attention. They waving their hand real quick. You know what I mean? They're having seizures, you know what I mean? When the SIS come, they look and they go like, and they try to give eye contact, tell the SIS, I can't go out there, I can't go out there. And the SIS say, I can't hear you. The SIS hear him perfectly clear, but he want him to say it in front of us. That's how the SIS vote. Like if you's a coward, say it. We ain't gonna let you sit there and fool the men that's in there to believe no bull crap. Then they see in another jail and they think that you was hard because I allowed you to go out, because I have to allow you to go out because I'm here to protect your life. But you here because you say you's a gangster. You say you's a killer. You was just selling to these men that you was a killer. And then now all of a sudden we got you in handcuffs, you caught up in a cage, and now we found that you sat on the stand and you told against somebody, and then you went to another jail, you went and told somebody in there, and then now you come over here, you run up debts in that jail, and now here you go, you're in my jail, and you want me to sit here and play this game with you. Have you lost your rabbit picking mind? That's how they look at you, right? And like, come on, man, we got another rat bastard. They open the door. You know what I mean? They let him out. Because they don't even hide you. Nobody respects a rat in prison. They'll act like they're protecting you to get whatever information they need to get from you at that moment. But once they get the information they need to get from you at that moment, it's a wrap. It's over. It's gone. Don't tell me I didn't tell you. Now, the jewel in this is, right? Before you scream loyalty, ask yourself one question. Who is going to sit in the cell with you? That's the question you ask. Now, let's talk about the Julio Fulio case, the aftermath. 4 mentalities entering into prison. Remember that. 4 mentalities behind me is entering into the prison. So they're going to adapt to prison 4 different ways. This is another topic you already have, he going around. But it belongs in the morning show rotation. The Julio Fulio case is not just about a verdict. It's about what comes afterwards. Young men going from street identity into prison identity. That is a different world. On the street, your name may ring bells. In prison, your paperwork rings louder. Because your paperwork is what decides if you live or die. Your attitudes get tested. Your fear gets smelled. Like rabid dogs, they can smell fear in there. Your trauma follows you. Everything you went through in life now comes down crashing on you because they force you to sit in a cage by yourself. And your sentence becomes your shadow. Wherever you go, wherever I went, that life sentence was like a cloak over my back. But I made sure I see sunshine through the rainy days. And what do you think the jewel in this is? The jewel in this is revenge may feel powerful for one moment, but life in prison is a long receipt. Come on, man. But, let me read the intro for a minute. We got a little sad zone real quick. Hold up. Relax. So that's where we at. But what about the Aunt Jeffrey from the No Jumper, book for felony, what they say, unalive? Internet fame, meets real charges. You see how this game works? God is going to allow you to get everything you want to get. But then he's also going to let the devil tempt you with everything that he has. And then it's up to you if you're going to stand on God's side or you're going to cross over to the devil's side because something he had is shining a little bright to you from where your mentality is at that moment that you feel that you need that in your life. When in reality, you only want it in your life. And that's how we get caught up chasing our wants and neglecting our needs. I remember, let me tell you one that just came to my head. We're going to ride. Relax, we're going to ride. I'm going to tell you one just came to my head. I remember I was in the county jail in Bergen County, New Jersey, about maybe 1982. And an old man told me, he said, man, this old black dude, dope fiend and all that. But in the jail, he cleaned up. And he was cleaned up thinking great. And he's telling me straight up, he said, man, young blood, check it. There were 2 of them that told me. It's both of them. 2 of them told me. They both came to my mind. One, their name is Park. I remember the other dude's name. But he said, man, don't never love the woman that you love. Love the woman that loves you. Let me know if you understand what I just said, how powerful that is. He said, don't love the woman that you love. Love the woman that loves you. He said, because all the women that he loved in his lifetime, when he went to jail down the path that I was heading, all the ones that he loved left him. But the ones that loved him were still there. So don't waste 10 years chasing the ones that you love when the one that love you is right here. I think I should get a round of applause for that. I think I get a round of applause for that. Put in the comments if you like the way I break that down. Put in the comments if you like the way I break that down, all right? So that's where we at with that, right? Now, the Ann Jeffrey joint, right? From No Jumper World became a headline. Reports say he was booked by the LAPD for felony murder, right? That kind of story gets attention fast because podcast culture and street culture are now connected. And that's where the problem is that podcasters is trying to judge, evaluate the street culture when they was never in the street. But now the social media and technology is putting it all in front of your face, and people watch it so much they feel that they was there, but they've never been in a dark alley and a whole garbage can turn over and you jump around and you pull your joint out and you ready to bang out. And it's just a rat. And this little Bobby with this big rock waiting to smash the rock. Next thing you hear, Bobby smashed the rat. And I'm sitting there with the gun in my hand like, what the hell? Is this the Twilight Zone? That's how real it is. And little Bobby see me with the joint in my hand and now he's looking like, oh man, I want to be like that when I grow up. Forget a rock. Because you know I had to bust off. Yeah, I mean, with all that excitement going on, I had to be a part of it. And that's how I got locked up one time, right? Let me ride. I'm gonna tell you I got locked up one time, right? I just dropped, I'm gonna talk really fast like I'm on the roof, I'm sitting around, you know, a little burning fire, chilling. I just dropped off my first $100,000 to the Connect. Right? I dropped a little $100,000 off and I get in the car and I'm feeling all happy and I got a brand new 9mm. I just got in, you know, a little Glock joint. So, you know, I'm riding down the street and I hangs it out the window and I let off 3 shots. You know what I mean? It was real simple, just 3 shots, dang, 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 dang. Right? So now we shooting, boom. So we shooting, you know, the cab driver, he busts a corner, busts another corner, then goes over to the Bronx, then he gets to the Bronx and go boop. And now look, here go the police right in front of him. See, almost ran into a police. Police walks over and they arrest his tickets out the car. That was from my excitement of me busting my joint off, feeling good. I finally made $100,000 and I paid my Connect the first $100,000. I know the next is $1 million. But I put myself in that situation carrying on like that, but that's where my mentality was at then. And when they pulled us over the gun, I was like, so what? They offered me 5 to 15 again. And I just came out of jail. But I'm not saying this to glorify it. I'm saying it to say that that's how twisted my mind was. And then now I get locked up and little Bobby hears about what just happens right after we were just shooting there and I done jumped in the cab, shot out the window, and now I got arrested and I got locked up and Bobby just killed a rat in the alleyway. And this goes in right with little Bobby's psyche that that's who I want to be. Because they brought the story that I got bagged back to the hood and little Bobby heard it. And that type of thing is what shaped little Bobby. And then he sees somebody else go through a situation, you know, and he gravitate to that. Because he's gravitating towards darkness. Because he's in corners trying to commit carnage and don't want anybody to know. He didn't want anyone to know that he's killing rats with rocks. It's just somebody saw him. No one would have never known that he was throwing the kittens out the 23rd window. Everybody is wondering what happened to the kittens. The kittens are disappearing. The cat just had lovely kittens, and they're disappearing. And they promised one to someone, they say they'd be back in an hour. They go take a shower, come back, and the kitten is missing. And little Bobby's laying on the ground, drinking his bottle, scratching his belly button, smiling, chilling. And mom is like, what happened to the red cat? And then the lady come back to get the cat. Now they trying to sign. They all looking stupid. Don't know what happened to the red cat. But they don't want to look at Bobby because they don't want to face the reality. Who was here with you, Susan? Bobby? But he's only 7. He wouldn't have did nothing like that. Okay, did you throw the cat out the window, Susan? No. It was only you and Bobby in here, right, Susan? Yes. So who do you think threw the cat out the window? Well, the cat may have walked out the window, but didn't you say the door was closed? Yeah, but no, little Bobby's okay. Maybe he dropped him by accident playing on the balcony. And then they make excuses, which is called mollification, for little Bobby's twisted mentality. And Bobby's hearing these excuses, and from hearing these excuses, he's developing a love and attraction that's so strong and so deep, it's buried within his soul, that they are as one because they're protecting him from his evil ways and defending him so he could continue to do it. It's called like, what they call that, enabling him. Oh, Bobby will never do that. So what? We lost 3 cats. You'll have some more kittens. That's how cold-blooded it was to defend our babies. Because we didn't know that nothing was wrong with him to take him to the hospital. We just figured if we act like it didn't happen, it won't happen again. And then something else happened to something happened, and then he gets bigger, and he gets stronger, and before you know it, someone gets hurt or murdered. Do you understand the words that are coming out my mouth? Somebody please tell me. People are not just watching rappers anymore. They're watching streamers, co-hosts, bloggers, influence. Everybody wants street proximity. Everybody wants danger near the camera. But real charges are not content. Real charges are not clips. Real charges are not thumbnails. The jewel is this, right? Because y'all want the jewel, right? The internet can make you visible, but visibility can also make you vulnerable. Rap lyrics on trial. The mic can become a witness. Rap lyrics in court is one of the biggest cultural topics. Prosecutors keep looking at lyrics. Defending attorneys keep calling it art. Fans keep arguing both sides. But here's the partial truth. If you're under investigation, everything becomes evidence. Songs, videos, captions, DMs, lives, interviews, even old posts. The system is not listening like a fan. The system is listening like a prosecutor. The jewel is this. Stop giving people ammunition, then crying when they load it. You remember that. But you know who I like though? You know who I like? I like the kid, NBA YoungBoy, his comeback lane. Legal pressure and redemption. NBA YoungBoy is always a major draw. His name carries traffic. His legal history carries debate. His fan base is loyal. His story is perfect for a morning show. Because the question is simple. Can a young artist grow while the system is still attached to him? Can fame mature a person? Does fame keep feeding chaos? The youth love YoungBoy. So the lesson matters. Talent is not enough. Pain is not enough. A fan base is not enough. You still need discipline. The jewel is this. Surviving the streets is one thing. Surviving your own habits is another. What do you think about that? Let me see if I can read some of these comments. It's not what you do, it's how it's done. So it was defending his family honor, then so be it. But the mythology he picked to get it done was perhaps reckless. Very good topic, very good sentence. That's what I'm saying. Well, okay, well, let me go on a little bit more, right? A little morning show topic. Y'all go suffer through it later on today. Young Thug and YSL aftermath. When the crew becomes the case, Young Thug and YSL changed the whole conversation. That case showed the danger of gossip identity. Music labels, street crew, brotherhood, business, prosecutors may try to tie it all together. That's dangerous because one man's actions can become everyone's problem. One lyric, one text, one photo, one co-defendant, one weak link, and now the whole circle is in court. The jewel in this, right? Hold up, man, before I give you the jewel.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime. Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio.
Fresh out the can of 26,
Yeah.
He back on the strip, getting back in the mix.
Yeah.
What he mentions a gift.
Right.
You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this.
Real.
Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit.
Yeah.
Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn.
Real.
Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went, gotta go do it. Did
All
not
right,
pay.
all right. So that's where we at, right? I'm gonna tell you what the jewel is in that, right? Be careful who you build with, because your circle can become your indictment. Your circle can become your indictment. Drill music and youth violence entertainment are instruction manual. Drill music is still a powerful topic, right? The youth love it, the streets recognize it, the police study it, the parents fear it. The question is not simple. Is the music causing violence or is the music reporting violence? Sometimes it's both. But here's the responsibility. If your words influence children, you have to think bigger than views. You can tell the truth without recruiting the youth into death. The jewel is this: the beat might be fire, but the lifestyle can burn your whole future down. Right now, about streamers, platforms, exploring street pain, trauma, and, turned into content. This one is important. A lot of platforms are eating also off of street pain. Every arrest becomes a clip. Every death becomes a thumbnail. Every case becomes a debate. But who is helping the youth? Who is teaching prevention? Who is explaining consequences? Who is showing prison reality? Not just laughing at mugshots. This is where your lane is different. You're not just covering stories. You're decoding consequences. Now, the jewel in that is the content without responsibility is just exploration with the camera. Content without responsibility is just exploitation with the camera. Let's get it right. Rappers posting too much online. Social media is the new informant, right? Do you believe that social media is the new informant? Social media is undefeated. People post locations, cars, jewels, guns, money. enemies, threats, then act surprised when it all comes back to them. The internet is not your friend. The internet is a witness. The internet is a tracker. The internet is a prosecutor's library. The youth need this drilled into them. Stop documenting your destruction. Stop live streaming your downfall. The jewel is this. Every post is either building your future or building a case. Now, remember they had that joint where dude was talking about sweat equity. You saw the way he fixed his mouth when he said that, sweat equity. We introduced you to that over here at Unique Mecca Audio. Like we were the first to tap into Davion Martin's psyche. So y'all understand that it wasn't a gang-related situation. The state had to charge it as a gang-related situation in order to move further with trying to clean up the streets of Jacksonville by them saying that it was a gang-related murder on the streets of Tampa based out of Jacksonville. If they said that the Murphys had a beef with them, then that means that the case would be closed and they got to find another angle to go at the gangbangers, right? Now, prison labor and sweat equity. The state owns your time. This is one of your strongest means of knowing that these people are not playing. When young dudes get sentenced, they do not just lose freedom. They lose control of their labor. The state controls when they wake up, where they work, what they eat, what they wear, who they call, how long they stand, and how much their sweat is worth. The streets tell young people, be your own boss. Prison turns them into cheap labor. This is the contradiction that we try and get. What's that? Yo, Rock, good looking on the donation. What's that? Yeah, good look on the commissary donation. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how people don't understand that the game is to be sold, not told. You see how nice and shiny these glitz and bells and whistles and stuff look, right? I can do all kinds of things. I can even show you a whole bunch of pictures, the mug shots, right? It's like, look, I can do everything there. I can change all kinds of backgrounds. This costs money. I had to pay my man $1,800 to rebuild my system so I could give y'all this fire quality like I give y'all. So when a brother get up here and he does his podcast and he asks for a cash app, that's the same thing like PBS having a fundraiser every year. Y'all grew up with your mama and them watching Jerry Lewis, they telethon every end of the year. All major stations have a telethon for their station for the donation and contribution from their fans. Now, my Cash App's about to be on the screen. Use it, stop being goddamn lazy, or at least give me a like button. Oh, man. Shit, let's go. Hold up. I got to get it back. I want to ride, But like I said, you can do a little bit of everything. Now, right? The jewel in this, the streets promise independence. Prison sells your independence back to you. One commissary item at a time. You know what it's like going to commissary and you can only spend $270 at a time to buy food and fish was, I ain't gonna front, fish was cheap. It was like $1 a can, but they only let you buy 10 cans a week. And every time you cook, you use 2 cans. So you cook for 5 days and then for the other 4 days, you gotta go to the store, man. You know what I mean? Go buy it from the store, man. Go buy it from somebody for double the price or like the price and a half. If something costs $2, you give them back $1.50 in commissary. That's how everybody hustling the joint. You know what I mean? Good looking on the commissary donation again, Rob. You know what I mean? Because he recognized that the game is to be sold, not told. Everybody think they supposed to just hold. You tell kids, don't be holding their hand out to nobody. You tell kids don't be holding no hand out, don't go begging around. It's the same way, you shouldn't have to ask either when you're giving a service. Because I went to the bar last night, bought 2 drinks, and I gave a tip. Because that was a service. You come here, you watch a nice video, you give a tip. That's a service. You know what I mean? It made the system look glitz and glattering like that. See, I got the music and all that playing in the background. I'm able to ride. You know what I mean? I can fire gunshots. And I could also let you know all day. Because what? And I want to thank all y'all that donated that. You know what I mean? And helped towards that. Now, parents and the youth. Who are we raising? Right? This topic is for the parents. It hits teachers, it hits families. A lot of parents do not know their children. They know the child at home, but not the child online, not the child in group chats, not the child in the streets, not the child trying to impress friends. By the time the police knock, everybody says, I had no idea. Little Bobby would never do that. Yeah, he killed 3 people in the bus station. What? Little Bobby. And then when they go to psychological evaluation, and then they find out that he was killing rats when he was a kid and throwing kittens out windows, they're like, whoa. And nobody recognized this trauma? By the time the police knocked, like I said, everybody said I had no idea. That sentence is dangerous because not knowing does not stop consequences. And the jewel in that is, love your child enough to watch them, not to control them, but to save them. Right? Before I get the main message, am I got any comments? Let me see if I should read some comments in here. I ain't got no sister to help me with my joint today. She doing her thing, telling you about the truth. Davon, what up? Davon, yeah, what up, family? All right. So we looking good over there. So let me give you the main message, right? The streets are real, but prison is realer. Choose the show with this, right? This is how we're gonna close the show. We done chose how we're gonna listen to it. We're gonna chose how we're gonna close it. The streets are real. The pain is real. The pressure is real. Poverty is real. The trauma is real. But prison, always remember Unique Mecca Audio told you that prison is realer. A funeral is realer too, because that's the finito. A mother crying is realer. A life sentence is realer. A child growing up without his mother or father is realer. A cell door closing is realer. Do you know what it was like? I'm in Lum Park. Let's talk about Lum Park. We're gonna ride the Lum Park for a minute, then I'm getting ready to tap out. We don't here long enough, right? I'm out in Lum Park, and Lum Park got them old school doors you see on them old Alcatraz movie where the police got to go to the front of the tear. They tear this long, right? And that's where all the cells is at. And the police is way out here at the door. And you got to yell out to the door or tell somebody that's close to the door to pass the message to tell the police to open up cell 17. And when they open it up, you hear them doors clanging. When them doors is clanging, and then it gets stuck. And you sitting there like, when is this done? It going to end. All that is real. You know, like I said, a life sentence is real, and a child growing up without his parent is realer. The doors closing is realer. That is the part they never put in the song or in these videos. Where you go visit your friends and loved ones, you know, and they tell you to bend over, get butt naked and cough and spread your cheeks. They don't tell you that part. Every time somebody came out there to visit you, when you went to visit them in prison, they got butt naked, bent over, spread their cheeks and coughed. How wide they spent their cheeks, how wide they, but that's how degrading it is. So if that don't deter y'all from wanting to go to prison where another man could look at you and tell you to bend over and spread them, and you did it, that's crazy. Now, that is the part, like I said, they never put in a rap song. That is the part they never put in the videos. That is the part they never put on the big shiny chains they wear on their neck. And the jewel of that is this. You don't have to learn from your own wreck. You can learn from my wreck, from my crash out. That's wisdom. That's growth. That's how we save each other. Now, I've been on here long enough. I want to thank y'all for coming. But I feel like giving you the intro one more time. So that's where we at, bro. So that is the morning board. We ain't gonna say no T, that's the morning board. Kodak, Dolph, Melly, Tory, Drake, Diddy, Durk, Pooh Shiesty, Fulio, drill music, prison labor, and youth prevention. I put a nice little program together. Let me know how y'all like that, you know what I mean? I just try to keep it different. But the message stays the same. We're not here to glorify the streets. We're here to expose the price. We're here to tell the youth the truth because the streets got a short memory. Because the prison system keeps records forever. And you're not trying to be a part of those records. This is Unique Mecca Audio. Real stories, real consequences, real jewels. The streets are real. The prison is realer. And it's not worth it. All right?
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was wine. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a raw in Uptown. Baby horn Uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in Uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours, so we can give back.